So there's been a lot of discussion around this actress Sadie Sink and the MCU and what's going on. She's known for Stranger Things. If you've not watched Stranger Things, in my opinion, it is the best original show on Netflix, hands down. I don't think that's even up for debate. She's 22 years old. Now, this article I'm getting ready to read from comicbook.com has a recommendation of a character she should play. Now, originally, I thought that they had said who she was going to play. I was having a conversation with my son, and I don't know what he was reading, but it seemed like it was something official from Marvel that she was going to play Mary Jane. But I looked it up, and this is what I came up with. As of March 19, 2025, Marvel has officially confirmed that Sadie Sink, renowned for her role in Stranger Things, has joined the cast of the upcoming Spider-Man 4 alongside Tom Holland. However, the specific character she will portray has not been officially disclosed. So, unless I am wrong, I don't think they have, I'm looking it up. I'm looking through all of the stuff I pulled up. I don't think they have said who she's going to play. Could she play Mary Jane? I think like physically, as far as her looks, I think she fits the mold. Should that be the character she plays? I think it should be Jean Grey. Let's read this article, see what it has to say. And I have to say, I think I agree. Okay, so you see the title. I think Sadie Sink is perfect to play Jean Grey in the MCU. Sadie Sink's name has continuously come up in a lot of Marvel Cinematic Universe's recent news after it was announced that she'd be cast as an unnamed role in the upcoming Spider-Man 4 film. Fans since begun theorizing different characters from multiple Marvel comics Sink could be playing, most of which belong to underrated love interest of Peter Parker. I don't know if I'm a fan of sticking to underrated love interests. I think Marvel needs to swing for the stars. Well, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. I'll move past that. As much as we'd love to see characters like Firestar or even the MCU's take on someone like Julia Carpenter, there's a different character that Sink is perfect for. If Kevin Feige and the MCU Spider-Man's usual casting director, Sarah Finn, are as smart with casting as we hope they are, then Sink will be joining the cast of Spider-Man 4 as the X-Men's infamous Omega level psychic Jean Grey. While some fans have been speculating that she could be playing the actual Mary Jane Watson of the MCU or even a variant from the multiverse, that just seems too easy. Some of you may say the same thing about Jean Grey being easy casting. And while that's a valid critique, there's a bit more at stake given Jean's Dark Phoenix alter ego. If this is the MCU's official introduction to mutants as we know them in the X-Men franchise, they need a huge talent to pull off this complex character, and Sadie Sink has proved herself time and time again in Stranger Things and her other projects such as The Whales and A Sacrifice, which I haven't seen either of those movies. But look, I think if Marvel is going to introduce Jean Grey and they're going to move toward the Dark Phoenix saga, in my humble opinion, this has to play out like the Infinity Saga. It has to be laid out over years. And this is why I think getting a young actress at 22 is perfect. You don't want to get someone who's too old, because then you're going to run into a problem where they kind of age out of the role. Maybe they don't want to play the role. They don't want to be typecasted. I think when you get a young actress like Sadie Sink, who is very good at what she does, I think she might be hungrier to stay on longer, and this will of course raise her profile in Hollywood. So I think it will work out for both parties. For those unfamiliar with the X-Men's Jean Grey, especially, let me read that again. For those unfamiliar with X-Men and Jean Grey especially, she's also known as the Dark Phoenix. Much like Wanda Maximoff, Grey is widely considered to be not only one of the most powerful mutants, but one of Marvel's most powerful characters in general. True and true. Though she's already been brought to the screen by two different actresses, Sophia Turner in 2019 and Famke Jensen in the 2000s, the MCU's Jean Grey can potentially be a completely different beast, and she can if they do it right. Jean Grey has similar powers to Professor X, the leader of the X-Men. However, she doesn't typically have full control over her mutation and powers, which can, of course, lead to bad news for both her and the rest of the X-Men. Now, it may lead to trouble for Spider-Man 2. We could see Sync playing a younger and more out of control Jean Grey, which would be an interesting place to start seeing more and more mutants in the MCU, as Jean is known for being one of Professor X's first students, and this kind of introduction could foreshadow her later arc as Dark Phoenix. Agreed, and I think that would work, but they just got to do it right. For me, they have to do it over a span of years and multiple films. It can't just be one movie. If Sync does play Jean Grey in Spider-Man 4, the possibilities are endless. After the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland's Peter Parker no longer exists in the minds of anyone in any universe. His alter ego still does, though. And what is Spidey without crime fighting? Instead of giving Jean Grey an origin story, it would be even better if they did something similar to Peter Parker's first appearance in Captain America Civil War and introduced Jean under the pretense that the audience already knows the basics of her powers and who she is. Now the question is, who's accidentally opening a portal in Spider-Man 4? Will it be Ned or someone from a different universe? I agree with all of this 100%. I think this is the right take. I think Sadie Sink would be perfect for Jean Grey. If they casted her as Mary Jane Watson, I wouldn't be mad. As long as they did the role right, I wouldn't be mad. But I think as Jean Grey, this would be epic. Because they at some point they got to introduce the X-Men. They're trying to walk themselves into that. So I think this would be the perfect vector, just as the article pointed out. Jean Grey being one of the first X-Men, introducing her, and then we know there's more X-Men to come after that. And that is an exciting prospect. I want to see all of this done well, though. I want to see it done well. I know Disney Marvel has had their problems. Who knows what'll happen? But this is something exciting. I think it's exciting. And I think this is one of those moments where Disney, Marvel, Sony could really do something big and thrust themselves in a new and better direction. I think X-Men has the potential to bring Marvel out of a slump. Whether that'll happen or not, I'm not going to make any, grand predictions, but I will say this is exciting. Now, maybe she is cast as Mary Jane Watson and it's not that big of a deal, although that would be kind of a big deal as well. But I think Jean Grey would work even better. I think this would be monumental. I think they could do so many things with that character and springboard off of Jean Grey and go into so many different directions.